Hello, my lovely Virgos. So as I was deliberating about doing your reading, I started getting images flashing into my mind. And they were geometric shapes. And they were not just geometric shapes. They were shapes that had the angles marked on them, like it was some kind of geometry that you were studying. But what was interesting about it was that they weren't down on paper. They were here. They were up above you, and you were looking at them, and you were, if I were to say you were checking out all the angles, that could be the meaning, but it feels more to me as though what you're doing now is, whereas before you would have been looking down and trying to use your logical brain to figure things out and sort out all the angles. Now, what many of you in the Virgo collective are doing is you're looking up. You're allowing yourself to be inspired by spirit, by guides, by higher mind, by intuition, to understand, not just figure out, but understand is the word that comes to mind. Now, even though this reading is theoretically for the week of September 8th, it really is about if and when it resonates with you, because everybody's on slightly different timelines. And again, not necessarily just Virgo sun, but Virgo sun, moon, rising, or anybody who has a lot of Virgo in their chart, this might be relevant. The thing that I'm getting with this is that in the process now, okay, so what I'm being reminded of is a thought that I had earlier. And that was that a lot of you have really struggled with consistency in your life. And even though it feels as though it has been due to external situations, of course, your energy is part of it, your karma is part of it, however you want to look at it. But it means that in many ways you have possibly been geographically displaced or moved around a lot, or just in terms of how you provide stability for yourself, for your family. It's involved having to step quickly sometimes and sidestep certain things. The sense that I'm getting with that is like, okay, this is working, this isn't working, gotta move, gotta change that. And so what I'm feeling is that even though there might not have been a lot of struggle in terms of what you were actually doing, there was a bit of a sense of struggle in maintaining consistency with it. And you might not have even really identified it as that, because you're very able to work and work well and always find a solution to things. But again, it's the difference between sidestep, solution, to now you're looking up, and it's I wonder what's next, and allowing yourself to have a bigger picture, to see beyond. Thank you. So yes, it is being open to guidance from spirit, from higher conscious mind, but it's also having the big picture even on the table and chair reality plane. So whereas before your vision might have been like this, now it's like this, and it's like this. So you have more of what I would say a long game in mind, a long-term plan. It's not having to jump because it's gotten hot and you have to go here and you have to go there. It's not because your back is up against a wall. It's because now you're being able to look at it and say, okay, this is fine, and now what might be the next step? Or now where I would like to go, or how long is this going to sustain me in a way that is going to be good for me? And again, beyond practical, because what I'm getting here is that sense of, do you want to? What is it you want to do? You can do a lot of different things, but do you want to? What I feel is that you're having more of a calm focus, and you're less concerned about your doubts. You're more inclined to say, okay, I don't have to be certain about what this is going to go, because now I can check in with myself and I can say, because now I'm having more of a calm focus in myself, I'm able to really check in and say, yes, I can, but do I want to? And I'm also getting a sense here that you have much more of an awareness and more of a connection to a real feeling of the fact that the divine is actually at play in your earthly life. That it's not something that's just theoretical for some of you, or even or even not really theoretical, like, yeah, whatever. God's there, I'm here, please help, or not, where are you? But it really is, for many of you, that deeper sense of divine presence, a co-creation I'm hearing, the understanding at a really, at a much more than a cognitive, conscious, logical level. It's that knowing, it's not just believing anymore, it's knowing that you are co-creating, and that you're being reminded as you do that, don't focus on the doubts. Focus on the fact that it's okay to have doubts. You don't need to be certain to move. So don't focus on it as a problem. You're being told if there is a problem, don't focus on the problem, focus on the solution. Keep yourself in positive triggers, okay? So keep yourself in positive triggers. Focus on solutions. Understand that doubts are all right because you have divine influence in your life on a regular basis, and it's part of the co-creative process. You're not in this alone. And for those of you who are dealing with a situation now, and they wanted me to mention this, they just said this, for those of you who are dealing with any situation now, what you're being reminded is, when you worry about the fact that you don't know, that it's not a certainty, you're in worry. And worry is a very contracted field. You're being reminded that if there is a problem, yes, you need to be aware of it. And you can look at all the angles here, and you can look at all the angles there. But what's most important is to focus on the solution of that problem. Now, what's important about this? What's important about this, Virgo, is while you need to be honest with yourself about what the problem is in order to be able to understand it, the angles, by focusing on the problem, you can, by over-focusing on it, by staying, attached to it with your vision, what you do is you can create more of that energy. So with the problem, with whatever the situation is, if it's current now in your life, you're being suggested, let your concern about the doubt go away. Trust in the fact that you have divine guidance. Allow yourself to stay really, really activated with positive triggers. What does that mean? That means whatever you need to do on a daily basis as a general way of being, and when you're thinking about a specific situation, use whatever means you can through music, through color, through inspirational writing, reading, people, positive people, being grateful. Not only just being grateful, but being kind, carrying a kindness of energy, being compassionate, all these different, and being keeping humor in your life. All of these different things can lift your energy. Colors, the right surroundings, walking in the green, looking at green on your screen, looking at forests, looking at waves, whatever lifts you up and makes you feel lighter. You're being told to do that because that is going to help you focus on the solution without necessarily knowing what the solution is. what you can do is focus on the fact that there is a solution, that energy, divine energy is here, that angels are everywhere, that it's not just something that is disconnected from you, that there is angelic presence on the earth plane, and that divine energy and divine support can come through people, that it's not something that you have to always figure out or work out. And when you can maintain a positive intention and a positive attitude towards whatever a problem is, saying, you know what? And this is something I learned during a really chaotic time with lots of variables and lots of things to figure out, lots of things that needed to fit together. Without me knowing how it was going to happen, it was the reminder that the divine was working, and it was being able to say, isn't it wonderful that everything is working out perfectly without me knowing how it is? It's so exciting to watch it unfold in exactly the perfect way, to have this situation resolve itself. So you see, it's acknowledging that there is something, but in that way of thinking, what you're doing is you are focusing on the fact that there is a solution. And it doesn't mean you're abdicating responsibility, because in that state, then you are more open to the idea of making a phone call when the time is right. The impulse is there. The impetus to take action is there. The conversations, the way you have them, how you communicate, all of those things are affected by this as well. The more positive state of mind you're in when you make a call, the more likely you see it all around you. The more positive you are, the more positively, when you're genuinely positive, the more positively people tend to respond to you. And also, the universe can just get in there and send you exactly the right insurance adjuster who happens to have a wife who's in a very similar line of business to you, whose name is the same as yours. And all of a sudden now, immediately, there's a rapport, which means he's listening, he's understanding, there's a connection, and there's more inclination to help, right? So, simple little thing, but very real, very true, and in a way you cannot possibly imagine is going to happen. That's the beauty of when the universe is working with you. It's you doing your part by working with the positive triggers, keeping your energy up, focusing on the idea that there is a solution. However it turns out, you're trusting in it. You're not doubting that there's a solution. You don't have to know what it is in order to believe that it's there. Okay? Now, this I think is super important, because you have been really elevating in so many different ways. And what I feel with you, Virgos, is that you are coming into a time and a place now in your life where you are able to really move out of struggle, where you are able to really start understanding your very, very particular, unique, individual style, spiritual inclination. I won't call it a style, because style implies it's put on, and it's not. This is you starting to really understand at a really, really seriously deep level what spirituality means, what it's about for you. And again, it's beyond theoretical, it's beyond logical, it's here. It's you receiving it, it's you being open to it, it's you trusting in it. It's you being able to understand that your desire to paint is a part of what your connection to the divine is. It is understanding how your mind has worked, how it's working for you now, and how you can increase and lean into that part without that sense of obligation that you've often had, that you've often felt has driven you. Now, and again, obligation to who? A child, a parent, a cultural norm, a promise you made yourself when you were 12, whatever it is. Now you also get the who says so, who says why not? Why not? Who says so card. And so again, this is you doing this for you. This is about you claiming you in a much bigger way than you ever have in your lives. This is you really coming home to you. And that is magnificent. Because as you do that, Virgo, it's literally like I see you coming to life with all of this, like, I'm seeing it as foliage, but for me, it's like this blossoming, this blooming in a way where I almost want to say you're not going to recognize yourself. And in that state, you are just going to be attracting so much more ease and pleasure into your life. Okay? I'm going to leave you with that, Virgo. God bless. Take care.